with wisdom, with the divisions of the Abhishamaya. Translated by Edward Conze. University of California Press, Berkeley, Los Angeles, London. Translation of the Sutra. Chapter 35, the HELLS. Absolute purity. The causes of the production of firm belief in the Dharma. Tending the Buddhas. Sariputra. The Bodhisattva, the great being, who resolutely believes in this deep perfection of wisdom, wherefrom has he deceased before he came here? For how long has that son or daughter of good family set out for the supreme enlightenment? How many tathagatas has he honored? For how long has he coursed in the six perfections, he who resolutely believes in this perfection of wisdom according to the meaning and the method? The Lord. This Bodhisattva will be one who is reborn here after he has deceased in other world systems where he has honored the tathagatas in the 10 directions. The fulfillment of the six perfections. That Bodhisattva has for incalculable and immeasurable hundreds of thousands of niyutas of kotis of eons perfected himself for the supreme enlightenment. And beginning with the first thought of enlightenment he has coursed in the six perfections, and then he has come here. And when he sees and hears the perfection of wisdom, he will produce the thought, I have seen the teacher, I have heard the teacher. And he will obtain this perfection of wisdom according to the meaning and the method by way of the signless, the non-dual, and the baseless. Subhuti. Can one then see or hear the perfection of wisdom? The Lord. No, Subhuti. Those who hear and see the perfection of wisdom, they do not actually see or hear the perfection of wisdom, on account of the fact that Dharma is their real field. They do not see or hear the emptinesses, the applications of mindfulness. 2. The enlightenment of a Buddha, on account of the fact that Dharma is their real field. Skill in means. Subhuti. For how long has the Bodhisattva coursed who makes endeavors about this deep perfection of wisdom? The Lord. One must make a distinction in this. It is possible that a Bodhisattva, beginning with the first thought of enlightenment, makes endeavors about this deep perfection of wisdom and about the other perfections, and that with skill in means. He does not reject any dharma and sees no accumulation or taking away. He never becomes lacking in the six perfections. And those Buddhas and Lords whom he desires to honor and worship with various kinds of worship, with regard to them his various kinds of worship succeed as soon as he has produced a thought of them. He passes on from Buddha field to Buddha field. He is no more reborn in the belly of a mother, he is never again deprived of the super knowledges, and he does not become partial to any defilement, or to a disciple thought or pratyeka Buddha thought. The causes of the non-production of firm belief in the Dharma. Deeds conducive to the ruin of Dharma. On the other hand, there are sons and daughters of good family who use the great vehicle, and who have seen countless Buddhas, and who, training themselves in their presence, have given gifts, guarded morality, too, developed wisdom, but all that by way of basing themselves on something. When the deep perfection of wisdom is being taught to them, they lack in faith, and walk out of the assembly. In their lack of respect, these sons and daughters of good family even walk away when the Buddhas and Lords teach this deep perfection of wisdom. Even here there are assembled sons and daughters of good family, belonging to the great vehicle, who, when the deep perfection of wisdom is being taught, will walk away. And why? Because in the past also when the deep perfection of wisdom was being taught, they have walked away, therefore, also just now they walk away when the deep perfection of wisdom is being taught. There is no concord either in their bodies or their thoughts, and they will heap up a karma conducive to weakness in wisdom. Having done and heaped up this karma conducive to weakness in wisdom, they will refuse this deep perfection of wisdom when it is being taught, and by this refusal they will refuse the all-knowledge of the past, future, and present Buddhas and Lords. By this rejection of all knowledge, and by having done and heaped up karma conducive to the ruin of Dharma, they will be hurled for many thousands of niyutas of kotis of years into the great hells. While they pass on from one great hell to another, their world system will be destroyed by fire, water, or wind. When such a destruction of their world system takes place, they will be hurled into the great hells in other world systems. When they have been reborn there, they will pass on from one great hell to another, and after the destruction of that world system they will again in other world systems be hurled into the great hells. When also those world systems will be destroyed, they will, having deceased in these great hells, be again reborn just here, while their karma conducive to the ruin of dharma is still unexhausted. Again they will pass on from one great hell to another. When they are reborn in these great hells, they will experience many sharp pains, and that until the time that this world system is once more destroyed. When that destruction has taken place, they will again, having deceased here, be reborn in other world systems in the great hells. Thereafter they will in all the 10 directions be reborn as animals. Then they will, reborn in the 10 directions in the world of Yama, experience very painful feelings there, and thereby they will exhaust that karma. Having exhausted the karma, which led to so many painful feelings, they will somewhere in at some time acquire a human body. And wherever they may be reborn they will be born blind, or be reborn among born blind families, or in the families of outcasts, or refuse workers, or among keepers of oxen, hogs, or in families which are mean, contemptible and low class. And when they are thus reborn they will be blind, or ugly, or without hands, feet, ears, or nose. And where they are they will not hear the words Buddha, Dharma, or Sangha, or the words Bodhisattva, Pratyeka Buddha, or Arhat. All this from their having done and heaped up this karma conducive to ruin of dharma. Sariputra. And not even the 5 deadly sins similar in their after effects to the doing and heaping up of this karma conducive to the ruin of dharma. The Lord. One should not say that there is anything similar in magnitude to this karma conducive to the ruin of dharma which has been done and heaped up by those who think that they should oppose the perfection of wisdom when it is being taught, and who say that one should not train therein. This is not dharma, this is not vinaya, this is not the teacher's religion, this has not been taught by the tathagatas, the arhats, the fully enlightened Buddhas. They themselves will decide to oppose it, and other beings also they will dissuade from it. Not content with having injured their own continuities, they will try to injure those of others also. Having poisoned their own continuities, they will poison those of others also. Themselves lost, they will also destroy others. They themselves do not cognize nor understand the deep perfection of wisdom, and they decide to oppose it, and others also they will persuade to do the same. To these persons I do not even grant permission to hear the perfection of wisdom, how much less do I grant a vision of it, and still less the ability to stand in it. And why? Persons of this kind should be known as defamers of dharma. Sons of good family of this kind should be known as mere rubbish and vipers. Those who think that they should listen to them and believe them will be ruined through their lack of method. For someone who defames my perfection of wisdom should be known as a person who defames dharma. Sariputra. The Lord has not told us about the length of time during which such a person who has defamed dharma will be reborn under the influence of this deed. The Lord. Leave that alone, Sariputra. And why? If this were announced, those who hear it would have to beware lest hot blood spurt out of their mouth, lest they should incur death or deadly pain, or be afflicted by the dart of sorrow, lest they shrivel up or wither away, turn blue, black, or a sicklish green, or, so great is the length of time during which a person who has defamed dharma will be reborn under the influence of that deed, so great are its faults. But the Lord gave no opportunity to the Ven. Sariputra to learn for exactly how long that person would have to suffer for his deed. Sariputra. Proclaim, O Lord, as a guidance for future generations, for how long the dharma-defaming persons will continue to suffer from their deeds conducive to the ruin of dharma. The Lord. May this be a guidance to future generations, that through having done and heaped up this karma conducive to the ruin of dharma he will experience many sufferings in the great hells. That is the measure and magnitude of his sufferings in the great hells. That is the measure and magnitude of his sufferings, that he will experience sufferings for just so long. In this way, virtuous sons and daughters of good family will turn away from these deeds conducive to the ruin of dharma. Even to save their lives, they will not reject the dharma, because they fear they might meet with such sufferings. Subhuti. A son or daughter of good family should become well restrained in the deeds of their body, speech, and mind. For they do not want to experience such sufferings, and do not wish to be prevented from seeing the Tathagata, from hearing the Dharma, and from seeing the